We made it, baby.
We made it.
Woo!
It's all downhill from here.
Should we cheers?
Let's cheers.
We have homemade
dirty martinis.
Extra dirties, and it's episode 10, so cheers.
As I mentioned in the alcohol episode.
Uh-oh.
Slex makes the best dirty martinis, and here's proof.
Preach, mama, preach.
They're so good. Highly recommend if you ever come over to ask for a dirty martini.
If you like dirty martinis, I got you covered.
Okay. So after last week, I finally watched Interstellar.
Hello.
It's Interstellar? Interstellar.
I usually like slur. I think it's Interstellar, but I usually say like Interstellar. I don't
Interstellar.
know. Like you just say it quick. You said it's like one syllable. Interstellar.
Like Interstellar.
Interstellar. Yeah. In her cellar.
So I kind of assumed it was going to be like Gravity, where she's just like floating around for a really long time.
I would just be Sandra Bullock floating for 2 hours.
No negative vibes towards Sandra. She's incredible, but like you can't breathe watching her not be able to breathe. It's a very like stressful / not a lot is going on movie.
That's the whole point, right?
Yeah. This one, highly recommend. It's almost 3 hours long, but it doesn't feel that way because it's just constantly moving.
You glide through it, baby. You glide through.
And I'm sure you're probably thinking, it's been out for like 20 years, Elyse. We've seen it. But if you haven't, here's your little nod to watch Interstellar.
Yeah, I think it was literally this year was like the 10-year anniversary. So it's been around, maybe not
15 maybe?
It's been around for a minute, but I felt like a proud father. I was just like, let's do it. And we watched it on Saturday night. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Anyways, great movie.
It has a lot of things that we talked about in the last episode too. So
yeah, we unknowingly, I guess it comes with the territory, but we unknowingly covered a bunch of interstellar topics in our space episode. Check that one out.
Yeah. So this week we're talking art.
It's all about art, baby.
It's all about art.
And
how do you spell heart?
You can't spell heart without art, baby.
Yep. So this was kind of sparked because last week we went on a date to paint and sip. Slex got me a gift card for Christmas and we painted. Here, grab yours.
Yeah, I was so nervous, but it was so fun. Wait, is this one's me? Yeah.
We painted these.
And look, it's almost like we should have done them reverse because it would be mirrored. It would be like a cool continuous landscape, but not bad, right? Come on.
We don't know what to do with them because there's just 2 of them.
Yeah.
And they're both like good, but
I think yours is better. I like
I like yours
the
better.
Gradient better.
I do have a good gradient. I like yours though. I told him his looks kind of like it's giving like Japanese art vibes,
And that's high praise. That's high praise.
But yeah, so that's what sparked this idea.
If you're ever thinking about paint and sip, it's BYO, and we brought some bubbles. So fun.
So fun. It was a vibe. And like everybody's there like for different reasons. There was a woman's birthday. Everyone trickled in late though, except for us and that mom or that aunt and daughter.
People were mad late. And be
punctual.
Get to your paint and sip punctual because
we're all waiting on your ass.
And they roll, and it's fine. I took a deep breath, but it's like they're already late, and this crew of ladies rolls up, taking their damn time. It's like
they have so many snacks.
Yeah, and they're setting out the snacks, out the drinks. It's like chop. Like we're already cutting into precious paint time. So, but once we got flowing, it was chill.
It was fun. Yeah. I actually was an art minor, so
she's an expert.
I love painting. I really should do it more. Like my therapist used to tell me, like, what makes you proud? And I'd be like, oh, well, when I do a good, that isn't work. Cause I'd be like, oh, doing yoga. And then she's like, well, that's your job. So
it doesn't count.
It doesn't count. So then I said, okay, well, painting when I do something good. And she was like, great. So do that more. And I was starting to do it like once a week. And then I fell off like everything else in my life.
It's tough.
I need to like pick it back up. This like gave me the inspiration to like go again. And I feel like you like loved it too.
I loved it. The principles, like how she kind of taught it. Oh, shout out Shay. Because I think she follows our podcast. I don't know.
Hey, Shay.
Shay, if you're watching this, thanks for the great lesson. I met Shay randomly out at like a...
When you were DJing.
Yeah, when I was DJing. And I recognized her because when I went to buy the gift certificate for Elyse, she was the one that sold it to me. So I was like, you know, what's like, I don't know, it's just small talk. Like, what do you do for work? And she's like, I'm a paint instructor. And I was like, wait, you work at Paint and Sip? And yeah, and she ended up being our instructor. So thank you, Shay.
Maybe she's the only one that works there.
Yeah, right. No, there was another girl there.
Okay.
There was another girl.
Okay.
It was, I think it's between two of them. But I was just going to say, the way she taught like the layering and the stroke pattern made it less daunting to me. So I'm very intrigued because I think it's just, I love looking at art, but like the approach is what intimidates me.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Especially when you see a really good piece of art and it's like, there's no way I'll ever get there. So why even try?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
It's I mean, we'll get into this later, but the craziest thing in art is the pieces that look effortless, but then you're like, oh, I could easily do that. And then you like try it and it's like, whoa.
I know.
Spatial. Yeah. Anyways.
No, it's so true.
Gosh.
So one of my friends posted on their social the other day, you can't spell earth without art. Or no, sorry, earth without art is just eh.
You can't spell earth without art either.
That too. Or heart.
You just, yeah.
But
that's cute.
I liked that.
Wait, re-say the quote.
Okay,
it just got
okay,
lost.
Yeah. Earth without art is just eh. EH. If you spell it.
That's good.
And I liked that. Well, she's a dancer. Shout out Alana. But she also didn't make up this quote. It's like a quote she read. But I just like that, you know, wherever you go, if you see like graffiti on the side of a building, or you see, you know, you listen to music, or you dance, or you watch somebody dancing, it's just like invokes such emotion. And like the earth without any of that would just be eh. Yeah. So I like that.
But that leads me, because I want to do a side note to that. I'm intrigued by the subjectivity of art. Like, what defines art? Because, okay, there's art that's like, obviously you paint, you make music, but like, what things in nature are just like out there are art? And to my point, I was trying to look up an example, but viewers, you probably heard of these instances where like, say you're at an art gallery and someone just like leaves their like glasses on the ground or forgets them. And all of a sudden people think it's an art installation and everyone's like, oh my gosh, like look how beautifully it was placed. And it's kind of funny. And this has happened before. Again, I don't know. I didn't have a specific example where like people mistake just an object in an art gallery as an installation. And it's a commentary on like what, you know, on one end, it's a commentary on like what people will consume if they're given the appropriate environment. But on the other end, it's like maybe it is art to people, like a coffee cup that's tipped over just right, that's like spilling out. It's like, I don't know, in the right context, is that art? I don't know.
Well, you think of these photographers that like walk around New York City and take a picture of like trash or like, you know.
And they frame it beautifully and it's like, okay. So it's kind of interesting. My last point. So I'm obsessed with music, and one of the things that intrigues me is how one song could be someone's favorite song, and then another person could be like, that's the worst song I've ever heard.
Literally.
Like, your concept of what's catchy and what is attractive in music is so subjective. It's insane. Mm-hmm.
I get bored on most things that people
love. Yeah. Some people that are in tears by certain songs, Elyse is like, wow, that's the most boring song I've ever heard. And you know, it goes same thing with me. I have like I love like certain like catchy melodies that there's certain melodies where I'm like, that's the coolest thing I've ever heard in my life. And then I'll show it to Elyse and she's like, yeah, it's like fine. Yeah. You know, It's kind of cool. Anyways, tangent.
It is cool. So we're going to give you, as brief as I can make it, a history of art. I know that like this podcast is kind of like comical and like we don't know anything, but I do think it's important to like just like go through the different huge like art movements that have existed in the eras of art. So here we go.
Yeah, I think
strap on your caps.
It's important to explore things we don't know because it's like we don't know anything, but we want to learn.
Yeah, we want to learn.
But this is just recapping for you because you're an expert in art.
I basically know all of those.
Actually, did you remember a lot of it?
No, especially like the different types. So I was telling Slex, I took my first semester of college. I took history of art, Mesopotamian art. That's what it was. History of Mesopotamian art. And it was like the most heavy. I've never fallen asleep in a class in my life. Fell asleep in that one. Like it was so dry because like all of the art was carvings in stone. Like it wasn't.
Yeah.
And it was like, where is this from and why? How do we know this? And it's like, I don't know.
It's almost more of like a history geology class. It's not even art.
But the cool thing is that I just took it because like as a freshman, you just get given the whatever classes are left. So I had to take it. And then when I chose my art minor, I needed an art history class and I had already done that. So it was checked off and I didn't have to do another one. Mm-hmm. So in the end, it worked out. I think I also got like a C in that class, which sucks.
Because you slept every class.
It was once, but I literally remember like, I can't keep my eyes open any longer.
That makes one of us. I slept so many times in class.
You sleep all the time in general. So
involuntarily fell asleep in so many classes, not intentionally.
Yeah.
It was a problem.
It's called his like afternoon nap when he eats. He just like, even if he watches like the best show of his life, he'll just start closing his eyes and I'll just look over and his mouth is open and he's sleeping.
I'll just give in.
Yeah.
It'll be, literally not every day, but I'll be sitting on the couch right after lunch and I'll be like, all right, here
I go.
It's going to be 10 minutes. Let's just do it. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways.
Back to it.
So
we've got the very beginning, prehistoric art for 40,000 BC. So very, very long time ago. Cave drawings.
That's like the first kind of recorded.
Yeah, which makes sense.
That is important though, because it's the first time that it like signifies when humans started doing recreation and not just primal activities, survival. You know what I mean? So it's pretty amazing.
And the first ever recorded, this is like an offshoot that I saw in 45,000 BC. The first recorded ever image of an animal was a wild boar from then.
Recorded image? What do you mean?
Like piece of art
of
an animal.
Yeah. Wow.
It's a carving of a...
One of the dudes was like, that was a beauty of a boar on today's hunt. So. He's like, I got to get this on the wall ASAP.
Yeah. Then we had 30,000 BC, ancient art in Mesopotamia, which I am clearly just a professional
obsessed with.
One of the main, like the biggest, most well-known, famous pieces of art from this time frame was the Code of Hammurabi, and that was a Babylonian set of laws carved into stone.
No, but is that even art? Well, I guess it's kind of artful.
It is now, yeah.
It is now, baby.
Then we skip way ahead to 500 AD. We have medieval, which was after the Depression and cultural deterioration. So like times were real bleak back then.
Medieval times seemed like they sucked.
Art was really dark and centered around churches because all they had was church. Could you imagine living in that time?
Everyone's covered in mud.
Everyone's living in squalor. I feel like you get pushed in pig mud every day.
You're in pig mud every day. There's plague. You like die in like a split second.
Literally, if somebody coughs on you, you could die.
Or just like if there's altercation.
Yeah.
And there was no like law enforcement, barely. So you just have a bar fight and you just like kill someone and you're like, peace,
or
bro.
They hang you.
Yeah, I guess there was some law enforcement.
Yep. Okay.
If you commit treason against the king.
Truly. Then we have 1400 AD, which was the Renaissance.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're skipping ahead quite a bit. So fun fact, growing up, I lived in the Renaissance neighborhood. Well, I lived on Leonardo Drive.
Cute.
It wasn't the Renaissance yet, but then as they built out all of the other streets, there was like Bernini and Michelangelo and whatever. And then they called the neighborhood the Renaissance.
It's in your blood, baby. You artistic.
So yeah, that's Da Vinci. That's also the Turtles. Da Vinci, Michelangelo, Raphael. Were all this time frame.
You mean the Ninja Turtles?
Yeah, the Turtles.
Yeah. Leonardo, Michelangelo, Raphael, Donatello. Yeah.
Who brought the ideals of emotional expressionism, realism, and depth. So these were like really real.
The Turtles?
Yeah, they were painters. And a lot of like emotions were evoked.
So was that wait, I'm such a little inquisitive guy. So was that when emotion was like really, well, I guess even Middle Ages it was emotion. It was just dark emotion.
Yeah, it was sad.
So was the Renaissance, much like its name, it was like a turning point for art?
Maybe.
Yeah.
But it was also like, if you think about art from that time, like people aren't smiling and happy usually. They're not like jovial.
Everyone is absolutely
They're still really serious.
Bummed.
Yeah. Then we've got 1527, which was mannerism. And that was similar to the Renaissance, but focused on style and technique over subject manner.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So is that like super realistic, like portraits and shit?
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
Maybe.
Sorry.
Stop asking questions.
By the way, shout out to Elyse. She's the executive producer of these episodes. So she gets the topics and she fleshes out the whole freaking agenda. So she did all this research. So.
And then he asked questions
Applause.
like I
And then-
actually know anything.
sorry.
I'm just reading what I found.
I'm just showing
I did write it out though. I didn't. I'm not reading an article. Okay. I did take some of this down. So then in 1600, that was the Baroque, which was Rembrandt, visual arts and architecture, grandeur and richness. So now we're getting a bit more like 3D with it. Like things are looking more like exquisite, you know?
There was the Baroque music period at the same time. So it was like a kind of like a dual front.
Oh, what was that?
I think
Bach?
I think Bach was Baroque. I should know that. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, like it was the
We'll
same.
do a music one later.
It was the same concepts, like grandiose expression, and like it seems like they were kind of getting a little more like luxurious with it.
Yeah.
Anyways, continue.
Okay. So then in 1699 we have Rococo.
Rococo.
And this was decorative art, softer, more decorative. Then we had 1750. And I'm pretty sure, to go back to Rococo.
Rococo.
I might not be saying Rococo.
You got me.
This is also when it was softer. It was when they started to put paintings on big vases and like European furniture. It was like put on more things.
They started to like really market it and make it.
Yeah, it was like beautiful and soft and pretty.
Okay.
Then in 1750, we had neoclassicism. And that reignited a passion for all things past. Artists strove to recreate the great works of ancient art. So it kind of like brought it back in time.
Classic. It's always cyclical.
It's always cyclical. In 1780, we had Romanticism, which was in all things music, art, all of the things. This
Poetry.
emphasized, the individual and imagination, appreciation for nature. And they used to like paint outside to get inspo.
Gotcha.
Moving along, we had in 1848 realism,
Okay.
which captured everyday life and attention to accuracy. Realism. So obviously that was about just capturing it as real as you could get it.
Yeah.
Is it cake, if you will?
Yeah. It was the is it cake of painting.
Of the art. Yeah. Then we have in 1890 Art Nouveau, which was the use of long, sinuous, organic lines with plants and flowers.
Okay.
I kept being like, okay, but what does that mean? And it kept being like sinuous lines. And I'm like, okay, so that's what it is.
Don't ask. Sinuous lines.
Then then we had Impressionism, and that was short, quick brush strokes, sketch-like feels. That's Monet. So if you think of Monet, which I saw in Denver when we used to live there, me, my dad, and maybe my sister went to see a Monet exhibit, and like looking at, I think it was just me and my dad, like looking at all of his little strokes to create, like when you look up close, it's like thick, globby, just streaks. And then you step back and it's like the most epic painting of water lilies, or, you know, I like was brought to tears. I was literally crying. It was like the most beautiful thing ever.
He did a lot of like pond scenes and water lilies and like a lot of kind of like more pastel-y colors, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Nice. He didn't. Nice. I mean, I don't know his works. I'm sure he has some dark shit, but I feel like a lot of his stuff was a little more uplifting, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, if you go through his like time of his life, then like later on it gets dark.
Sure. Yeah. Of course. Yep.
Then we have 1885, the Post-Impressionism, which was abstract forms, subjective visions, and symbolic personal meanings.
That's like Van Gogh.
So we had Van Gogh and Rousseau, which, fun fact, my maiden name is Rousseau. The French version. And my dad's dad used to be like obsessed with finding out who we're related to, like the lineage. And he found out that we're related to Henri Rousseau, which was like this huge painter from France back in the day, in the 1800s.
Henri Rousseau, check it out. His works were sick. A lot of it's like jungle stuff.
Jungle.
Really, it feels almost like, it's like, it feels surreal to me. It's like almost like cartoony, but slash realistic, right? I don't know. It's just such a cool, like unique style. So
there's some things,
the Rousseau lineage, baby,
that are outdated.
Oh, sure.
And like kind of,
there's some like racist stuff going on.
Yeah, it's not appropriate.
But, yeah, okay. But not all.
So don't judge my family on that. But
there's some racist paintings for sure.
On like the animals and like
there's ones
jungle.
of like a tiger in a jungle, which is chill. Yeah.
It's literally, I think, what it's called. Le tigre en jungle, something.
En jungle.
Then we have in 1900, so we're getting there, Fauvism, which was intense color, line, and brush strokes. So like Matisse was this. We have 1905, Expressionism, which was a distortion of form and strong colors to display emotions and anxieties. So that was like real bright and like a lot of colors.
People getting wild with it.
Then we have 1907, Cubism, which like Picasso was in that realm. We have 1917, Surrealism, which was Magritte and Dali. Art defied reason, and they denounced a rationalist mindset. So if you haven't seen Magritte's work, he's like my favorite artist. Like
you've seen it, unless you've
probably seen it. It's like a guy with a top hat on, and then there's just an apple in front of his face, and it's like, what even is that? But it's very like realistic and very cool looking. And he has like a painting of a pipe, and it says "Ce n'est pas pipe, ce n'est pas une pipe." I think like this is not a pipe, although it is. So yeah, his stuff is really cool.
A lot of his stuff was like putting objects like where they shouldn't be, like that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. A lot of did he do illusions or not really? Like just displaced objects.
Yeah, more
kinda,
so.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But Dali did like, the long horse legs and melting
clocks. Dali's insane. There's an exhibit in St. Pete that we went to.
Yeah.
That was insanity.
Very cool. Then in 1940, there's abstract expressionism, which was Pollock. And this was like non-objective works, emotions through brush strokes, drips of paint, and color swatches. So often they were doing things like on the ground, like really big paintings and just like drippings of paint.
It's like throwing paint.
Yeah, it wasn't like, you can't like make sense of it necessarily.
It's Can I just interject really quick?
Yeah.
That kind of stuff, because it's like you see it now, and obviously there's still like so many skilled artists, but I feel like it's funny, like once something has happened, it's not as impactful. But imagine back then, and that never happened before.
Yeah.
People are usually just painting daintily or whatever, and this crazy mother trucker is like just throwing paint.
Yeah.
It was probably impactful. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah. He's probably so pumped that he thought of it first, too.
He's like, I got an idea. Watch this.
Then we have 1950, the op art and pop art.
Yes.
They used everyday objects to create innovative works of art that challenged mass media. So we have Andy Warhol, who, like a can of Campbell's soup, and then he does it 4 times and changes the colors, and like that's pop art. Or like Marilyn Monroe.
That too. I feel like with Photoshop, you take it for granted, but
True.
That too, that like never existed.
That's true. It's a good point. And then in 1970 up until today, we have contemporary art, which is street art like Banksy. We have digital art, etc. Yeah.
And that's the history of art, y'all.
And that's like a quick breakdown of art. So now we're going to play a game. Some of these famous artists were obviously on drugs. Let's be honest.
Come on now. Let's be honest.
So I'm going to give Slex the artist and the drug, and he has to guess which artist took which drug.
So I'll write each artist, then I'll write each drug, and I'll connect, and then I'll show. Okay, I love this. All right, let's do it.
Okay.
Hold on. Let's go.
Okay, so we have option Van Gogh.
Okay.
Picasso.
Okay.
And Andy Warhol.
Okay.
We have for drugs, Obitrol, which was speed.
Okay. I don't know if I'm spelling that right, but whatever.
We have opium. That was a good one back then.
Opium slapped back then.
And then we have absinthe plus digitalis, which was a medication used for epilepsy, but it gave users a yellow tinge to their vision. So they'd see in like yellow.
That was it? You don't trip, you just see yellow?
I mean, maybe that mixed with absinthe like made it real crazy. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay. Were you looking at mine?
No.
There's secrets on here. Okay. So we got Van Gogh, Picasso, Warhol, and then we got Obitrol, which was like a speed, opium, which is literally heroin, smoked, and absinthe slash digitalis.
Yeah. And absinthe
yeah. So that's the one person.
Mm-hmm. So he's doing Van Gogh.
Van Gogh to absinthe. I know he like famously did it, I think. Warhol, he was doing cocaine, so I know that it's probably the upper. And then Picasso, opium.
Nice, babe. You got it
get
right.
It?
Yeah.
Woo!
Very good. So fun fact, Picasso was doing opium and like loved it and was like famously found in rooms just filled with smoke and said it was like the best thing ever.
Yeah.
And then
a lot of people who've done it think that.
Well, no. And then he walked in on someone he knew hanging from the ceiling because they had a bad trip on opium. And so he decided to never do it again.
Whoa.
Yeah.
They just killed themselves on the spot?
Yeah.
Wow, that'll do it.
And then there's like a lot of them were like
right
alcoholics and stuff, but these were the top three. It's a very
Digitalis.
good
I'm so was like Van Gogh like, yo, I want to see shit in freaking yellow, dude.
They say he has his famous painting of sunflowers, and they say that was while he was on Digitalis because it was yellow, and like the painting's all yellow.
Maybe when you see in yellow, it's like yellow is enhanced.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. So, if you're going to do drugs, at least make art. That's what I say.
Do drugs, make art, baby.
Okay, our facts.
Oh, man.
So I'll do my fact
do yours
first.
first.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool. So in 1911, the Mona Lisa was stolen from the Louvre in France and wasn't famous before that, but then got famous from having been stolen and returned.
1911?
1911.
It wasn't famous before that, even after
Not
Da Vinci?
really, no. And it was stolen by Perugia. I might be saying that wrong. Perugia. This guy who was Italian and worked at the Louvre, and he wanted to bring it back to Italy after it was stolen by Napoleon.
Okay, so
Napoleon,
it was like a valiant
stole
effort.
A ton of art, brought it all back to France. And then this guy was like being a nationalist and like wanted to bring it back to its home.
Okay, well, I mean,
because it was by Da Vinci.
Could be a worse motive.
So he worked at the Louvre and then waited in a broom closet all night until morning and then took it.
That was all part of his plan?
Yeah, but then I don't know if he
to get
probably.
the job.
Or maybe he just hated the job and hated the French, so he like stole it.
They should make a movie out of that.
They have.
Oh, they have?
Yeah, but it's like black and white's old.
I'd watch it.
Yeah, maybe we'll watch it and we'll report back. But he brought it back and then was trying to sell it on the black market, obviously. And the people on the black market turned him into the cops, the coppers.
Oh.
And so he was arrested and they got the Mona Lisa back, shipped it back to France.
So wait, he brought it to Italy, but he didn't want to like to restore, like take it to a museum. He tried to sell it on that black market for like monetary gain anyway.
Well, probably what museum's going to be like, okay.
Yeah, they would have been.
We just won't tell France.
France would have. Yeah. If that's true, if they found out, it would be, whoa, that's crazy.
So that's my fact. Yeah, and she's been. If you've seen her in person,
did you?
I haven't. It's funny because you think it's going to be like this huge thing. It's so small. Like I feel like maybe a little bit bigger than this, and she's in like 10 like layers of glass framed because people have like tried to steal or shoot whatever. So it's in like bulletproof glass.
It needs to be like climate controlled too because it's so old.
Climate controlled. So you like walk in and then you go like around and it's like a freestanding wall and she's there. But it's like a billion people trying to get a picture.
Sure.
And because it's glass, like any picture you take of it is so bad because it's reflective. So it's like really, it's underwhelming. I'll say that. Like it's beautiful, but like there's much more incredible art, I think, than
it's like
Mona.
more so the story of her. I think also like there's like the allure of like who was she and like is she smiling? Is she? It's like a frown.
Some people say it was him as a woman.
It was him as a woman.
Yeah,
that's some Dan Brown shit right there.
Oh yeah.
Do they talk about the Mona Lisa in Da Vinci Code? They must.
They must.
All right, next. Match the artist to the painting. So I did this for Elyse. I'm going to show her 5 paintings and give her 5 names. Or should I not even give you the names? No, I should give you the names.
Give me the names. Obviously.
5 paintings, and I'm going to give her 6 names. One trickery.
All
right.
Okay.
One sec. Let me get it up. It's on the iPad.
You're going to give me the names and then show me the picture.
Yes.
Okay.
You want to write the names?
Yeah, I do.
All right, let me bring them up. Let me bring them up on my notes. One sec. All right. So the names are as follows. Edgar Degas. You can just do Degas. Monet. Claude Monet, that is.
Mm-hmm.
Salvador Dali. Pablo Picasso. Rembrandt. And Vasily Kandinsky. For a total of 6 famous artists, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
All right. Now I will bring up the 5 photos.
I feel like 4 of them I could know if it's them.
Well,
their style.
I bet you. Yeah, I bet you will. So we'll see. I was trying to pick trickeries, but we'll see.
I could tell. He was in his room for a long time. His like office, not his room. We don't sleep separately. Okay. Ooh.
Wait.
Okay.
Bring up the brightness.
Do you know what the what art movements Degas and Kandinsky were from?
Kandinsky was from the Cubist / Surrealist, I think, and Degas was no, not Impressionist, because Degas was earlier. Why are you quizzing me?
Okay, all right. Okay, so friends, we have in the top left.
So here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 2.
Okay. Yeah, you're definitely trickerying me. So
make sure you put the numbers down.
I'd say number 1 is Rembrandt. 2, I would say I'm getting pulled to Degas, even though I don't even know if that's legitimate, but I'm just like thinking that. Dali's going to be number 4. For sure. I feel like this is like a famous Rembrandt, so I'm gonna stick with that. I don't think Monet's on here, so I'm gonna cross Monet out for now. Picasso.
crossing Monet out that early in the game. Wow.
Yeah, I feel like I
So
know Monet,
bold.
but I might not at all.
Wow.
Okay, then I'm gonna say Picasso is. Shoot. Okay, so you're saying Degas is more like a cubist situation.
I could look it up. I was like guessing.
No. I got this.
I didn't say Degas was cubist.
Okay.
Cubist is later. I said Kandinsky.
All right, I'm gonna say 3 is Picasso.
Or no, Picasso's cubist / surrealist, I think.
I'm gonna say okay, so that leaves Kandinsky and Degas.
Sorry, my arm is on fire.
So, I'm gonna say Degas is 2, and I'm gonna say Kandinsky because Kandinsky sounds like a very like he was growing up in like Poland, and it's like dark and sad, and that's what that's giving. So I'll say 5 is Kandinsky.
Okay. Hold on. Wow.
You guys, I'm so nervous because I got all the wines wrong. Did I get any right?
Is this your final answer?
Yeah.
Okay. 1 is Rembrandt.
Woo!
You got that right. 2, Pablo Picasso. It's an early Picasso.
Wow.
3, that zany one, Kandinsky.
Okay, I don't know Kandinsky.
Kandinsky was like more. Don't quote me on this, but he was like kind of on the more modern realm. You're right, Dali. I was trying to find a deeper one that wasn't like mainstream, but it's still that screams Dali. And then that's Degas. So you were right that Monet was not in there.
Yeah.
So you got
2.
1 right, and you got
Rembrandt.
Yeah, you got Dali right.
And I got Dali.
You got 2 right.
Okay.
2 out of 5, not bad.
And I don't really know Degas or Kandinsky, and then you picked a Picasso that's like
it's like a
crazy.
Tough one.
So I feel good about this.
And Kandinsky, you would recognize as like most popular, and I almost picked it. So wait, Rembrandt, he was Baroque style. Elyse talked about, so that's like 1600s.
1600s.
Which I was thinking about that. Okay, it's not my style necessarily. That upper left viewer. It's a little more like kind of bleak, like it's very realist, but damn, imagine that's like when the new Kendrick dropped back then. Imagine it's the 1600s and you see that. That's really incredible work. Shout out Rembrandt. Pablo Picasso, the second one was called Garçon à la pipe, which is weird that it's French.
It's a man?
Boy with a pipe.
Wow.
That's cute. He was in Cubism, Surrealism. That was his stuff. And this painting was from 1905. Sorry. Vasily Kandinsky, that's called Improvisation Sintflut from 1913. And he was Expressionism modern art. So he transitioned into modern art. Salvador Dali, the spectral cow. And then finally, Edgar Degas, that's Place de la Concorde from 1875, which is sick. And I was reading, they praised him for use of unique negative space and cropping. Because look how, it's like they're not the focal point. Like, you know what I mean? They're like off to the side. Yeah. I don't know. It's very cool. Imagine, it's just like really forward thinking for them. I'm envious.
It's cool. All right,
anyway, all right.
Game. Thank you. So I got 2 of 5. So I'm basically an art major.
She got it. 2 out of 5. Art major. Hello.
So next I looked up art mediums around the world that are weird. I
got to hear this. I love this.
We have blood, obviously.
You got to do what? Like witches? What are we talking here?
No. Mark Quinn used 10 pints of his own blood to build this like thing, and they came to work on his house and unplugged the freezer that it was in, and it all melted. So he had blood everywhere.
What do you mean they came to work on his house? Just like construction people?
He was like getting his house remodeled.
And he didn't realize or something like that?
Or they didn't.
I'd be so mad.
All that lost blood.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's this other guy that like paints with blood too. It's always their own blood, which is gross.
Oh. Yeah. Is it like, I assume it's like a deeper, like symbolic thing?
Probably.
Like, yeah.
Then there's toast.
Fun.
Lenny Payne makes different things out of toast. And then he wanted to figure out a way to preserve it longer. So he was trying to dip it in resin, but a lot of it is still just made out of burnt toast, and he makes paintings, or not
Like
paintings,
he
like
continually does burnt toast. Like
yeah.
he like scrapes out of the. That's pretty. I could see you could do really cool shading with like the charcoal on the burnt. Yeah, I bet it's amazing.
Then we have fruit, obviously.
Got it.
But Stephanie Sarli is really famous for doing like very feminine, sexual photography, where
With
it's
like bananas being like
no, it's like a finger on like a cut open plum or something, and it's kind of like it's very like sensual and like speaking to like the woman.
It's photography, or it's
interesting.
I feel like I've seen that.
Then we have Cosimo Cavallero, who covers everything in cheese and then takes pictures of it.
That's my kind of guy.
I know.
We're big cheese people
over here. It
over
probably smells disgusting, but
big cheese
tastes
guy.
great.
Like, did you see pictures? Is it like cool, or is it just like gross?
It looks like there was like a storm of cheese and it just dripped on like a living room.
Oh, he melts it.
Mm-hmm.
And he makes like sculptures, kind of.
Yeah.
Huh. Hey. Shout
art.
out. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's art, baby.
Then there's Chris Truman, who I don't like because he uses like 40,000 ants. He freezes them and kills them and then uses them to create art, which is just like...
Where are you getting all these ants, bro?
A murderer.
Yeah, that's kind of messed up. I don't
I'll never support you, Chris Truman. Okay? And you're rude and mean.
Damn. Yeah. At the expense of so many ants. That's kind of messed
up.
Especially after you've seen Ant-Man.
I know. At first I was like, oh, he like... Because I saw a picture of it and he uses them to like, you know, shade and build and whatever. And I was thinking like maybe he puts like a bunch of food in different areas. So it's like a moving art piece. And then he like gets the ants to go where he wants them to go for like the look of the art piece. Mm-hmm. But no, he just kills them all. Like that would be so much cooler if it was a moving art.
They're dead ants?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean.
40,000.
Does he like, why ants? Like, does he just like the tech, like, you could use so many things that are just little black specks.
I don't know.
Interesting.
And then Katsu made a painting, I guess you would call it, of Mark Zuckerberg out of his own feces.
That's what I'm talking about,
and
dude. That's the art we need.
Like, fuck Mark Zuckerberg.
Oh, it was like like a protest art or something. Yeah. Interesting.
And I think this was before like all of the new things coming out.
He just, I mean, that's kind of funny. And like, you know, shout out to protest art, but the irony that he probably spent a lot of time. So it's like almost like jokes on him a little bit that you had to just use your own shit to make
like
art.
Waiting to go to the bathroom, scooping it out.
Collecting your own disgusting
using
poop.
it a little bit. You run out of it. So you have to wait again, eat more food. Yeah, you have that like smelly thing like in your space.
Commitment to art. Yeah, it was probably a disgusting workplace.
Ooh, but that's what I got. Oh, and then there's like pennies. Sure. People make things out of pencils, so not like using a pencil for art, but like the very tip people have like carved out of the lead and stuff.
Cute. I've seen that. Really like microscopic.
Yeah, like cities and
that's amazing.
Yeah. And then
so
fish
tedious.
Heads.
Well, like
again for photography. No, they like dress them up and put them in different like situations.
They put like a tutu on like a.
It's like two men talking, but it's fish heads.
Huh, I gotta see this. Is it kind of cool if it wasn't fish
heads? It's what it sounds like. It's exactly that.
Huh, yeah.
It's like it's us right now with two fish heads.
Okay.
You know?
It's like a multimedia piece of art with an actual fish head. Uh-huh. Yeah, not my style.
Not my style. Don't want it in my house.
All right, if we're talking about art in the modern day, we got to quickly touch on NFTs.
And what's NFT stand for? An
NFT is a non-fungible token. And I meant to look up what fungible means. Fungible? So I don't know that, but pretty much what it is, it's like a virtual entity, and it doesn't have to be like actual visual art. It can be anything, but the whole concept is that you can't, like, once it's associated with an owner, there's pretty much uneditable metadata and coding called blockchain. So, like, there can't be any theft unless it's officially sold or transferred. So it's kind of cool in that it's like a rock solid way to own a piece of intellectual property. Whether that is like a picture or whether that is a song, like artists have done like releases. But for this, whatever, for the sake of this, we're going to talk about art. I was reading about it, and the value of NFTs are actually pretty low right now. And they absolutely peaked in 2021. If you guys remember, it was like the rage. And
it's kind of like Bitcoin, if you were to relate it to anything.
Yeah, it's kind of, it's a volatile kind of value and market because it's all, it's influenced by demand. And I think at the time in 2021, it was this new exciting thing, and the metaverse was starting to be developed, and it was like massively popular and expensive, and all these celebrities like Justin Bieber and Snoop Dogg were buying those damn ape pictures. Remember those? Mm-mm. The Bored, you would recognize it in 1 second. Actually, since your phone's quick, look up the Bored Ape Yacht Club. Okay. And it was these NFTs. They're literally just a picture, and it's a side profile of a chimp, and they were going for like thousands of dollars.
30,000.
You recognize it though?
Yeah.
No? With the prediction that it would only,
3.4 million. You see that?
What is it?
3.4 million.
Right now? Or it was sold
That's
at?
what it was, sales record.
Because they, I think these are valued at like, they're still pretty expensive, but I think they're in like, like $30,000 or something like that. But at the time, people were buying them for like $1 million because of their projected value down the road. It's kind of silly. However, my question is, could the value of this type of thing rise in the future? Because it feels like there is an eventual, in my opinion, there might be an eventual shift to the virtual world, like in Ready Player One, where yes, the real world exists, but people will start to really lean into this virtual world. So imagine you got mad money and you built this dope pad in the virtual world, and you have a real Bored Ape NFT. You're going to show it off at your pad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know it sounds silly, but a lot of things have sounded silly before they become embraced by society. Yeah. I don't know. So we just decided to bring up NFTs because it's an interesting evolution of art sales or whatever. Yeah. I don't know. Anyways, that was my thing.
Thank you for looking that up. Okay, so now we have HWDYKYP. How well do you know your partner?
Our favorite segment.
Our favorite segment. Your favorite segment, probably. Maybe. I'll put that on you.
We'll see.
Okay, so we're going to go through art now. So the first one is, what is Slex's favorite artist? So we'll both write down what we think that might be, and then we'll see if we're correct and we know each other.
I have two, but I think I got to choose. That's what it is.
You gotta.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do it. She always has her damn board positioned toward me, like she wants me to see. She's like daring me to look. Also, my eraser for this thing is horrible. I need to get a new one. Okay, ready?
I really don't know.
3, 2, 1. Dolly.
I did know that.
I thought you knew.
I did know that.
It was between, believe it or not, Kandinsky and Dolly.
I feel like you've mentioned that. I put Van Gogh for the listeners.
Elyse put Van Gogh. I put Dolly because it really sealed the deal when we went to this exhibit.
You know what? I was actually picturing Van Gogh at the Dolly Museum and wrote Van Gogh.
There wasn't any Van Gogh there. I think there was
I was
Monet,
picturing that
or was
that
it Matisse?
Is Van Gogh, but it's not. It's Dolly. Yeah. So I would have been right if I
Dolly's trippier.
Got that right. Yeah. Why is Dolly your favorite?
Just like I love. First of all, it's just like timeless art that like literally if ChatGPT couldn't even generate the art that he's done. If you say like do a trippy thing with clocks and elephants, it wouldn't be nearly as visually stimulating. He was like, I'm no art buff, but from my perspective, he was like a visionary and created these insane, beautiful, perfect. Like we saw the painting so close up, and it's so precise, so beautifully shaded, or whatever, beautifully composed. I don't know. I'm talking like an idiot. Yeah, just like mind-bending works that I just think he's amazing. Oh, and sorry, not only all that to say, that was in like the 40s. Like he's doing this way ahead of his time. Or was it the 40s or 30s and 40s?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Because I think he died in the 80s, and something like that. So imagine, like, it's the same thing like I was talking about Rembrandt. Imagine that coming out.
Babe, right, like probably into the 40s, but Surrealism started in 1917.
You're painting like these crazy, like Lord of the Rings looking elephants with the long leg. Not even. There's nothing like them.
Like Star Wars almost.
Yeah. Star Wars looking elephants and melting clocks to symbolize the, futility of time or whatever he was doing. That's crazy shit. I just sealed it for myself in my head. Anyways, that was a horrible explanation, but that's why I like Dolly.
That was good.
Thank you.
Okay, so next we're going with what is Elyse's favorite art movement? So we just went through all of them. Do you want me to like kind of read some of them back to you? Do you feel like you know?
No, nope.
Okay.
I got it.
Great. All right.
I got it. Viewers, I feel like I just rambled, so sorry about that. But, sometimes you just got to blast.
3, 2, 1.
Surrealist.
Impressionism.
But
I love Magritte so much, but like I think overall as a movement outside of just Magritte, like Impressionism, seeing, like I said, like just getting really close to something and seeing it just as like globs of,
I know,
one thing.
Dang.
And then you look away and it's like something completely different, just like brings me so much emotion. Like I said,
the way you spoke about it, I should have known.
Yeah.
That was my second guess.
It's so cool. It's just like, or like the painting of the people in the park and how you look up close and it's just
literally
dots,
nothing.
and then you step back and it's people and like a whole scenery. It's
pretty cool.
How I like can't even.
Yeah, you wonder, did they like, did they map it out ahead of time, or they just have like an end goal and kind of just like worked toward it? Because the park painting's huge, isn't it?
I think so.
Was that that wasn't Matisse? Who was that? Monet?
Mm-mm. I didn't write it down.
I have a very limited knowledge of. I know like 10 artists.
So we're failing currently.
Failing.
What is Slex's favorite art era? Oh no, sorry. What art era would Slex thrive in if he was an artist?
Okay. If I was a visual artist?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. Pop art.
Pop. Nice.
Yeah!
Why'd you say that?
Cool. Because you're really good at Photoshop. So I was kind of just thinking like that vibe.
Yeah, I think I would love, we were talking about how like the development. Well, pop art lives on today, right? Because isn't it kind of like modern art?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that would, thinking about, like the sleek, like evolution of like Andy Warhol and all the like, I feel like the parties would be a vibe.
Literally, yeah. And you'd wear the like white glasses.
And I'd be doing cool silk prints of, what would I silk print? Like how he did Marilyn Monroe and Campbell's Soup. What would I do?
Like Sprout.
I'd do Sprout or like Marvel. like Spider-Man. I would totally do Sprout. That'd be so cute.
We should do that. We should do above the couch. We have all of our pets except Pip because we haven't updated it yet. We should do like pop art versions of them. That'd be so cute.
Yeah, but like with the color scheme of our living room, so like orangish. So this nice.
That'd be cool. Okay, our last one. Okay. Elise's favorite famous painting.
Wow. Do you know the name of it?
I do, but
because you looked it up.
Yeah. You can just describe it. That's fine. Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Monet lily pads. Ah,
water lilies.
That Monet, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I know he has several different ones.
There's like a ton called water lilies. Yeah, but it's
like a series,
what I've been talking about this whole episode.
Yeah. So wait, is Monet your favorite, babe? You're talking all this Magritte shit.
I know.
Just choose Monet.
Okay. It's both because Magritte is so epic in what he was doing and like how he was doing it when he was doing it. I love Magritte a lot, but his is more like impressive. Like I'm like, whoa, that's so impressive. Whereas Monet, it's like I'm crying.
It's like emotions.
What it invokes in me is a bit more like Magritte. I'm like, wow.
So they check like different boxes for you.
Yeah.
Which is great.
And I think like overall, like seeing Magritte's art, there was so many different things. So that was really epic to see.
Yes. He spent a lot of different like concepts.
Yeah, like everything's different. Whereas Monet is beautiful, but once you keep going, it starts to look kind of similar, although like it's all beautiful.
Right.
So I think like
it's like
looking at the whole discography, if you will, of the paintings, I'm gonna go with Magritte.
Paintography.
But the epicness and emotions that come from the paintings, Monet.
Love it. Yeah.
Cool.
I like that.
Okay, so we got 2 right.
It's good.
2.
Let's link. Okay, next up.
Okay, we are going to play a game, 30 seconds to draw your lover.
30
a lot
seconds.
Of games. So we have 30-second countdown, and we have to draw the other one.
We didn't want to...
Maybe you could put like a fun little song so they're not bored in post-production.
Okay, yeah.
So another fact, everything that you see in like the professionalism that this comes across as, if you think that, it is professional. Everything is Slex. He does all of the audio. He links the audio is being done separately than the camera, and then he links it together. He edits everything.
I'm the tech guy. You're the exec producer. You're the set designer, exec producer, and I'm the engineer, editor, chief cinematographer.
Yeah.
I'd say.
Side note, I've noticed that I sound really stuffy and nasally in these. It's the mic, it's not my nose, just so you know.
She's not that stuffy. There's just comparative. It's just I just have a better mic than she does. So there's like a lot of presence and like the low mid frequencies. So if you think she's just like a stuffy dose puppy, it's just the
It's the mic.
It's the mic.
I do breath work every day, so
I will say this, if you want to help. So these mics are meant, this is a little lesson for everyone. These mics are meant to be close, but the closer you are, the more you'll have proximity effects. So if you're like this, there's going to be...
do I sound less stuffy now? Comment below.
It's going to be boomier, and I should actually bring your gain up, but...
Okay.
Yeah, whatever.
All right, so now we're going to draw
we'll talk
our
about
lover
that later.
In 30 seconds. And
yikes, dude.
Slex will do like a fun little tune.
It was gonna be a minute. But we don't want you waiting for a minute.
To be bored.
So we're literally going to draw your own partner and see. We'll see who the real artist is.
Set.
No, I'm not. Hold on.
Ready, set, go. So
mine looks just like you. It's actually insane.
Mine looks really good too.
Really?
3, 2, 1.
Wow, yours is really good, babe.
Is it?
Mine, I almost had the lips. I kind of had your nose though, a little bit.
I feel like my face is too fat in that.
It's too fat. It was a little too wide. I just didn't get enough time to like really work it in.
And is that my hair?
Yeah. Yeah.
So here's Slex. And here's
Elyse. So who did better? In the comments below.
Comment below.
I thought mine's insane. But also, I'm more that Dolly Picasso guy. Yeah. So it's kind of like...
And I'm more Monet.
You should have done a bunch of little dots.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I should have just done strokes of nothing.
That's honestly cute.
Okay, so our last thing, we have fact or fiction.
Oh, yeah. This is a good one.
Slex is coming in hot with this.
Let me just wait.
So I have to figure out, I have to guess if it's fact or fiction.
Fact or fiction, Elyse? Leonardo da Vinci was known to be let me reset it. Leonardo da Vinci was known to be a very efficient painter and famously painted the Mona Lisa in just 9 months.
True.
False.
I've never gotten these right.
Fiction. It took 14 years. Which is like, dude, too long. Too long.
Why 14 years?
I didn't go through the extent of it, but I know he was like layering a lot and letting it dry. 14 years. I'm sure he could have finished
that well.
Thank you.
I famously got me.
Yeah. I like embellished the sentence and all that kind of stuff. I know it was like a different time back then, but 14 years, too long, bro.
People are painting with their blood and they're going faster than 14
People are painting with their blood and they're going faster.
They have to revamp their blood.
Yeah, literally.
Or re-up
People are using
blood.
their own feces and they're taking quicker than 14 years. Anyways, this was an interesting episode. We took a risk because we're not art experts, but that's what this show is all about. Exploring.
I am. I am.
She's an art expert. Yeah. No, but you're only an art expert on Mesopotamia and before.
Correct.
She's a literal ancient art expert.
Uruk was a place.
It was a place.
Remember that. Yeah. Thank you for coming on this journey with us. It's fun, It's good to know. Honestly, like next time you're like, what do I do? I'm bored. Go to a museum and check out some art because I promise you'll be inspired in some way, even if you're not an art expert like me or a musician like Chris, Slex.
You will be surprised. Like, I feel like when I was younger, I was almost like skeptical, like not super interested in it. But like the several times I would go when I was younger, every time you go, you get impacted in certain ways. Again, it's just like music, like different works can hit you differently. It's really interesting, and I'm glad we explored it a little bit, babe.
And if we go back to my therapist, what brings you pride? What's something that in your life that makes you feel proud? And do that. It doesn't have to be painting, but something to leave you with.
Yeah, create something, enjoy your life. YOLO, baby.
YOLO. Thank you for joining us. We don't know anything.
Oh, also, side note, what the hell is this all about? She barely touched.
If you haven't noticed,
she barely touched her drink, and I choked.
I'm halfway there.
Olives and all, baby.
I know you even ate a snack.
I almost ate the toothpick, baby. Just kidding.
We'll see you next week. Thank you.
Thank you guys. Here. Peace.
Bye.